I'm not the best writer, so when I write something, Grammarly always help me.
So we just had 6 people start within the last 3 weeks. So
Ooh, I'm on a plane with a mask on sneezing. Oh. The AI is pretty cool.
I'm sure it has it. You're talking about like ChatGPT and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
All the
Well,
other-
it's wild because ChatGPT is a baby, right? And it's something else like that. But now all the other ones are like just releasing so quick. And I don't know how much it impacts agents, from a day-to-day, but there are a lot of tasks and like quick things. You can operate quicker, right? Like with the information that you can gather.
Do you guys use that in the agency yet?
My ops manager started using it for email replies, and It's funny. I started. I gave her feedback, and I was like, "Hey, you're doing some great responses." And then she started doing them like faster, and I look at it and I start noticing a couple errors, and I'm like, "You're using ChatGPT." So it's like it makes humans process a lot faster, right? Because it's giving us the information, and we can. But it can't replace us, right? There's still a lot of stuff that we need to interject and humanize it. But it does a phenomenal job, right? We just got to be able to proofread it and make sure that it makes sense for that correct scenario.
You're not writing articles and blogs and copying and pasting, and all of a sudden you have something like that. You're going to not look good if that happens. But definitely like idea generation, that little thing right there, that email trick, like it's funny because I've been utilizing it, but I have not been correcting it and sending it to Jason. Anytime he emails me, I reply with AI, but try to get as goofy as it can go.
I'd say
He says bad words when he replies.
Well, I call it Shitty Craig AI.
So
What did you do with Real Craig?
Yeah, where's Real Craig? That's Shitty Craig AI.
Yeah. So like, what's cool? I love that idea. One of the things that I'll kind of do with ChatGPT is set up your own GPT, so you can make your own GPTs now and have it self-prompt. What I think is really cool for people to do in agencies is start putting like, okay, you are writing as Jorge Carbonell. You are an agent for this. Give it all this kind of context and then tell it you are going to reply to all these emails giving this kind of tone. If you prompt it really, 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 really well in the description so that it uses that as a reference and then just start pasting your emails in there, it will give really good responses. You have to prompt it real well. And then you could share that GPT with other people in your agency so that they can use the same prompting.
Right.
And that is a really cool way to start using it in the office.
And you have like nice crisp email without really any mistakes. I mean, that you have to read it. You have to proof it because sometimes it's wonky. Like earlier today when I replied to you, like it thought, but I was sending the attachment. It couldn't figure that out. But I just kept it because it was funny.
But that's not even ChatGPT. That's some crappy program that you have.
Yeah, Spark. It's a really good email program.
It'll get you 95% there, which is, I think that's amazing.
The other one that I love, that's an easy one for everybody in the office, and I think it's like $8 a person, is Grammarly. Have you guys used Grammarly?
That one's good.
I freaking love it.
There's 1,000 of those ones.
Yeah, it's like a little icon, and you type. It doesn't matter what program you're on. You type out, and it'll correct everything. And it'll give you ideas, like for the sentence, to reword it so that it makes more sense and it sounds more professional. So if you're using ChatGPT with Grammarly, really easy to correct whatever GPT puts out there. But Grammarly is one of those things. I'm not the best writer, so when I write something, Grammarly always correct. It's usually I flip it around because put the end at the beginning or something like that, and it'll help me. But Grammarly's good.
It has, he described it, how it works, and it functions great, but it puts this little green tab on the corner, and it just drives you crazy.
So,
are you gonna bring her home?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring her home. So next, let's do this again and let's check in. So one of the things that I'll check in on is, starting up the sales again. I'll kind of give you guys an update with that. Bringing my dude back should be interesting. Should be fun. I'm excited. George, we might do an event out here in California, FYI.
Yeah, I saw a little sneak peek to that. I'm excited. Yeah, I remember we did the Ignite a couple of years ago now, pre-COVID, and that was a huge success. That was awesome. A lot of good relationships and good networking and takeaways. Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool.
No, it was post-COVID, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah,
It
22.
was post-COVID because
It was
I had
2022.
to wear a mask on the plane.
I'm on a plane with a mask on, sneezing. Oh, I mean, I know I can't control, but geez.
Your allergies during COVID were at an all-time high, and I've never seen anything like that. And the responses of people when you were in public was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm also doing working out consistently with physical therapy.
And if we get 1,000 likes on this episode, then Jason will live broadcast every single workout for the rest of the year.
I can do that. Even my physical therapy when I'm on the weird machine.
Oh,
my
that'd be
legs going
great.
up and down. Yeah.
You just live stream that.
What about you, Carps?
So we just had 6 people start within the last 3 weeks. So I think that's a huge piece to see, because we implemented a new training and onboarding and development strategy for our agency. We have a dedicated leader that's just focused on owning all of those processes, essentially. So this is her really second class now, because we had 3 people start 2 weeks ago, another 3 people that started last Monday, and then we have another 3 people starting March 4th on Monday. So yeah, we're gonna start measuring what the successes of this program and how many people we retain from that, and see what the lift we get, because we know we need good people to keep scaling, and it's a grind we talked about being consistent. This is one, buying leads. You got to be consistent with buying your leads and your marketing. You got to be consistent and not turning off your recruiting funnel. There's always going to be somebody that is leaving or has to be coached out, whatever the case is.
Is that in-house that you're doing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we started late November. We transitioned one of our rock stars into that role, and then I've worked with my business coach to kind of develop the processes that she's going to consistently follow. And from interviewing to onboarding checklists to what do the first 2 weeks look like in scheduling to how do you grade. We're training them on building rapport. Okay, that's great, but how do you actually grade what building rapport looks like and give that feedback in real time? So you're breaking out every little thing.
I have one for you. Have you heard of Read AI? Read.ai. It's a screen cap, so it like records the Zoom, so it goes in Zoom, and you may be able to do phone calls, but it coaches based on what they say. It's pretty interesting. It's really cool, and it gives feedback on engagement. So if they do any quotes on Zoom, it's very, very useful for the telefunnel stuff. He's our sales guy.
I think my CPA uses that because I get like everything in text after the meeting kind of thing.
There's a lot of them that do that. This one was, because it has this coaching aspect, it's really cool. So I think that would help people too.
Coaching to each process and grading it. I mean, and then she's actually leading those individuals through at least the first 30 days. So it's like her own pod, right? And then as she recruits them, trains them, develops them with the rest of the crew, they graduate to the senior sales rep.
Love it. You productized the hiring and onboarding.
It's not stop. Shout out to Top Tier and Gear. I've used them for a ton of stuff, right? But I think it's a business development maturity stage where this is never gonna stop, and you have to realize that recruiting is never gonna stop, and you just gotta have that. Just like Google has their own recruiting team, right?
Right.
They have their own team. You just it's just a step forward in that process.
Yeah, when you're smaller, you should not have all these processes in your agency or business, right? You're just you're using other people's specialties, but as you grow, it's become such a need, and the size that you are, it makes total sense because that is an ongoing thing. So
you have the same underlying fundamental process, right? And it's just like, okay, what can I absorb in-house as I scale? And as you scale, it makes more sense because it's more efficient if they're in-house. It's more, it costs less if it's in-house, but you can't afford in-house before you're at that point, right? Because it's too expensive. And that's where somebody like Gary or the other ones out there are really good at filling the front end of the funnel. It's like buying leads. Hey, if I can buy leads to get me quotes, great, then I'm going to do it. If I could buy people to run through my funnel, great, I'm going to do it, but at which point is it more effective to be in-house versus the other side, right? When did you see, point in scaling, did you see that it was more of a benefit to have it in-house?
Probably October, when I realized because what happens is I start to we have our team, right? And then we lose a couple people and they think, oh shoot, I need to make a call. I need to say, hey, I need to turn this on. Where really I should just have it consistent, right? I buy leads every day, right? I got transfers coming in every day. This is just one of those things that I just need to be doing every day. And if she's not actively training and recruiting, well, she can use her time to start developing, whether it's some of the new people that recently graduated through the classes, or just anybody that needs further assistance, because she's been with me for 4 years. She's awesome, right? She understands what we're trying to do. So it was just, and that's one of the reasons we've kind of taken a step back in production, because I took the super high performer and I pulled her out in November, and that really hurt us. I mean, she was doing 60, 70 items a month, but really the goal is to replicate her, 10 times.
It's having the long vision, right? If you understand this is a marathon and today's results are, okay, so this month sucked, get over it, move on. It's the long game, Sometimes it's a tough one when you know that that made you miss bonus, right? You got to wait. But guess what? Another year is going to happen. If the other year doesn't happen, then you don't have to worry about it because you're not around for the other year to happen.
Well, we have something to check in on me for in carbs. Not really anything for Craig.
So, okay. I've had 4 sales folks, and I've had the same thing happen where you get comfortable with not having the hiring machine going, right? And I think with the options that are out there, there is a quick fix if you need, or maybe a perception of a quick fix. I don't think there is a quick fix because you never know, right, how long it's going to take. So yes, you definitely have to have it going. And Jazz and I met when I got back from Costa Rica, and I thought, geez, we, just in case, right? Because some people have been out, and it's like, okay, we got to get consistency going again. Because I don't change the leads, and I know you just keep leads on, because if you move that, then now you have less players and less stuff to work with, and then in 2 weeks you're really screwed, right? And then that's when you get emotional. You're like, I'm done, it's over. So can't do that, right? So we hired one guy. Yeah, no. 2 weeks. That was it. He was on the phone for a week. And really, I was like, Jazz, why was he just on the phone for the first week? Because he'd be gone. We would have saved a week, right? So, but he's learning too, right? That's the thing, is giving autonomy. They're going to make mistakes, but they're going to learn from the mistakes. And I think it's a much better lesson learned when you go through the mistake, because you feel the pain. You have to freaking work through it. Why are you giving that look?
I told you we started this in November. The first 3 people that she hired, we either let go or quit within the first 2 weeks. Yeah. So, she's a high performer, so she was super hard on herself. And again, it's just encouraging and learning from the mistakes. And she owns that process. So it was like a failure, right? Yeah. So everybody she's hired is still here so far. So we're good right now, and they've been selling for a week now, and they got, some of them have 6 items, some of them 10. So next month we should be in a good spot.
We got to remember that piece, right? Like we're entrepreneurs, and so we fail, and then we forgot that we fail. We just keep doing it over and over, and then we get the good one until it works, right? And then it works, because that's consistency, right? Here's another iteration of being consistent. Fail. You're gonna win eventually, right? And most folks who are in a working atmosphere, that's why they're working. They don't want to fail, right? They don't like failing, and it's not comfortable. And so, yeah, it's important to support them when they go through that and help. Like, that's such a huge thing to be able to give that perspective to people. Like, hey, it's okay. Like, you were all stressed out. Don't worry about it. If it happens again and again and again, then, now we got to talk about something here. Like, it's not clicking. But I mean, man, it's great when they make a mistake, right?
Well, the big win is somebody comes in and doesn't work out after 2 weeks. You just won. Because usually with other agencies and companies, it can take months or years. So if you can figure that out earlier on, that's a win. Like, that's a huge win.